Right, Rafe Beckett, of course, very much taking centre stage in this show. Secret Gesture, down in the US, of course, was the easy winner of the Beverly D, but under US rules, could have been in trouble. Any idea that she was definitely in trouble is ridiculous, as anyone who watched US racing on At the Races this week will know. There were numerous stewards' inquiry where significant interference took place and numerous results stood. So there is not any idea that the US are necessarily always draconian. But having said that, Phil, we all know, whether it's France or America or Hong Kong or anywhere like that, if you cause interference in those countries, you are more likely, certainly than the UK, to lose your race. How much better than all the rest was Secret Gesture in real terms?
OK. Well, first of all, Golden Horn, I pretty much knew what was going to happen, and I'm happy that he was the best horse in the race. The Ledger, we've eventually come up with Secret Gesture, given the filly's allowance better, but again, I was unsure. Clearly, the best filly in the race in the Beverly D was Secret Gesture. So why does she lose it? Because, well, that's clearly because she's cost Stephanie's Kitten a position. And I think everybody would agree that that's been the case, albeit the jockey did, in a sense, assist that thing. Now, if you look at it from perhaps doing a sort of football analysis, really, you often see on the television, and the commentators will say, that tackle was such that it gave the referee the opportunity to give a penalty. If the referee was so minded to do so, the actions of the defender there gave the referee the opportunity to give a penalty. Now, I think that what happened with Secret Gesture, in the sense that, you know, obviously with Jamie on, I think the way that he rode that and he allows Secret Gesture to drift across, he gave the stewards the opportunity to disqualify her if they were so minded, and they were.
And more importantly, because he rides there every day of the week, Irad Ortiz knew that he'd been given that opportunity, although subsequently his actions cost him from winning the race.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, whether the stewards would have then reversed it had he finished second, because they may well have then said, well, actually, yes, there was interference, but it's not cost you a place, and we're happy with the result. So
it's a tricky one, isn't it? 50-50.
And he's only got seconds to make that call. Yeah. You know, I couldn't be critical of that.
Phil, you would be considered by all our viewers, I think, a sensible voice of reason when it comes to horse racing. On the basis you said the stewarding decision in the Irish race was excellent, I think, if I remember rightly, was your word. And we know what happened in America, and we know that's just due to their rules. If handicappers were involved in any sort of discussions about worldwide rules, you would presumably be arguing, therefore, that the rules in Ireland and the UK are the ones you would rather have than those in America. Is that fair from what your comments you've just made?
I was talking to one of my handicappers on the way here today, you know, and saying, well, I'm going to discuss all these things, and he said, and he said, he totally agrees, and he says, we have enough problems of our own without getting involved in interference inquiries and what should or shouldn't be the rules around the world.
Well, we all have problems, Phil, but which one do you think is the best?
I honestly don't have an opinion. I think.
Well, you do, because you think the Irish decision was excellent,
well,
so therefore
it was appropriate to their rules. But if you actually look at the American rules, their decision was totally correct. And it's gone to appeal, and the appeal has been dismissed.
I'll rephrase the question. Do you think Secret Gesture, forgetting about rules, deserved to have that race taken off her?
You can't forget about the rules. You know, all sport is played with rules, and if you break the rules, you always run the risk.
How much do you want me to dig, Phil?
You can dig as much as you want, but let me give you the handicap version of what happened after that race. We gave Secret Gesture 113, we gave Stephanie's Kitten, the third horse, 111, and the second horse, What's the Chances, we gave 110. So we took the interference and still came up with Secret Gesture as the best filly in the race, and I put it back to the figure that she'd run to, I believe, in the Middleton earlier this year. Stephanie's Kitten had done 111 before. What's the Chances had done 110 before. From purely a handicapping point of view, 13, 10, 11 fitted incredibly well. Now, what happens as a result of that? That's really out of our control. That's to do with stewards. That's to do with jockeys. Everybody knows the rules when you go to the States.
But when you debate those, you'll be off to Paris, and after the art, there's always a great sort of, well, goodness only knows what you get up to, but it just seems that you stay in Paris for as long as you can, effectively, to discuss stuff. Is this the kind of stuff you discuss? Will you be saying to anyone out there, you know what, the Irish rules were right, although I won't say it at the races?
Well, we certainly wouldn't be discussing the rules of any country, right. but we do have on our agenda these 3 races, and we're going to ask the meeting is on Friday and Monday. Sadly not all week, but it's on Friday and Monday, and one of the items on the agenda is to discuss with this Committee of International Handicappers what would you do in these circumstances. And I suspect, and I'm looking at the system at the minute, we're pretty well all agreed on the secret gesture figures. We're pretty much agreed on the Golden Horn figures. We've got quite a bit of disagreement about the Bondi Beach race. Okay.